Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And have you heard about this cult that Tulsi Gabbard, former U.S. Director of National Intelligence under President Donald Trump, was raised in with her parents, called the Science of Identity Foundation, SIF, a fringe offshoot of the Hare KRISHNA religious cult in Hawaii when she was a kid. Sounds like this group or cult is very similar in design of power and control of its members, like the Church of Scientology or this group out of Washington State called Ramtha. The way people are raised as a child has influence and carries those childhood ideologies into adulthood. The shaping of the mind as a young person is a powerful tool to knowing how a person thinks and acts as an adult. So, what is the Science of Identity Foundation, this cult-like group? The Science of Identity Foundation is a fringe offshoot of the Hare KRISHNA religion that was formed in the 1970s and has been described by defectors as a cult. Its leader is Chris Butler, 78 years old, who leads what has been characterized as an alt-right sect of Hinduism. Chris Butler is heralded within the Science of Identity Foundation as an extension of God. So the guy who runs this thing, Chris Butler, is supposed to be an extension of God or godlike. Listen to some of these terms that sound very cultish. One former member wrote, "I was raised to believe Chris Butler was God's voice on earth, and if you questioned him or offended him in any way, you were effectively offending God." So what is Tulsi Gabbard's deep family ties with this group, this SIF, the Science of Identity Foundation, based out of, she was raised in this organization in Hawaii. Gabbard's deep family ties. Tulsi Gabbard's parents, Carol and Mike Gabbard, held prominent roles in the SIF. And her husband, Abraham Williams, has deep roots there as well. Former members say Tulsi Gabbard was groomed for political office specifically because Chris Butler had political ambitions of his own. He wanted influence. One former member noted it was very unusual for a woman to have these political high aspirations because women in the Science of Identity Foundation are not really encouraged to do anything. So what is the alleged influence over her political career? Well, a Washington Post investigation reviewed more than 25,000 pages of emails, memos, and other messages shared with Tulsi Gabbard by senior leaders of the group, seemingly on behalf of Chris Butler. Finding unmistakable parallels between the group's directives and Gabbard's political decisions, from specific lines she used in media appearances to legislation she introduced in the House. In one 2014 email, the person behind the correspondence directed Tulsi Gabbard to introduce legislation into the House that would punish countries whose citizens fought for the Islamic State. Chris Butler's top aide also shared a tweet with Gabbard, which she then posted verbatim on Twitter. So this Chris Butler, who started this SIF organization, who has this fundamental belief that he is the voice of God, is allegedly speaking these words, emails, into Tulsi Gabbard's philosophy as a politician, and allegedly has had major influence on how Tulsi Gabbard thought and legislated as a politician. So what was Chris Butler's broader goals? Butler has previously condemned U.S. intelligence and defense agencies as power-hungry institutions run by madmen, even as he appears to have long had the ear of the woman who went on to oversee some of the world's most powerful intelligence agencies, Tulsi Gabbard. One former SIF member told the Washington Post that Chris Butler's ambitions went even further. He wanted to rule the world. Concerns about national security as a result of this, a former SIF member, Anita Van Dunn, who spent 15 years inside the group, warned Congress that Tulsi Gabbard is still under Chris Butler's influence. And she expressed concern that sensitive intelligence information Gabbard was privy to could be communicated to her guru, Chris Butler. Tulsi Gabbard's response to all of this she has mostly avoided answering any questions about her affiliation with the Science of Identity Foundation, often criticizing such questions as an attempt to foment religious bigotry. Former members who know the group from the inside say there is no way she has left this group, the SIF, arguing that leaving would result in being shunned, with no family members speaking to her, and that SIF members would not work on her political campaigns unless directed to do so by Chris Butler himself. And as a result, we now know that Tulsi Gabbard has left Trump's administration due to her husband's health issues and other family issues. But maybe as a result of this Washington Post article that came out, maybe there were some other pressures that has guided and steered Tulsi Gabbard to leave Trump's administration. There's a lot going on in his administration. A lot of top level women have left Trump's administration. And some of these people have had some dark secrets. And it sounds like Tulsi Gabbard's past and also her present has some rumblings of some mysterious cult-like religious contemplations of life that are on the fringes of not being coherent with the majority of society today. The way you raised, your environment has a lot of influence on how you're going to think and be as an adult. One has to take a deep dive into this organization called the Science of Identity Foundation and what's going on with it. There are a lot of cult-like organizations out here in this country that people have been tied to, but I don't know what to think on this whole Science of Identity Foundation that Tulsi Gabbard allegedly belongs to. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth.